I am still on the convention floor at the National Association of Consumer Bankruptcy Attorneys National Convention in Boston, and I've got a new friend with me here. Can you introduce yourself for us and tell us where you're from?
Sure. My name is Jeff Tromberg, South Florida, office in Boca Raton. I do consumer bankruptcy, and my firm is Florida Debt Relief Center.
Excellent. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
In Florida, you guys basically have an unlimited exemption in the home. Is that correct?
It is correct, basically.
Yeah.
And
Are there people
you have the same thing since the change in the law in 2005, where you can't just move to Florida. You know, you have to wait 1,215 days, and no one knows how they came up with that number. But essentially, you can have unlimited exemptions on your homestead.
So if you've lived there long enough, you can have an unlimited exemption on your home, but the exemption in your car is what?
Right now it's 5 years. $5,000 per person on a vehicle.
Yeah, we've got a $5,000 exemption in
It was
Ohio
1,000,
too.
But it went up to 5 a couple of years ago.
Well, it sounds like you are very deep in the Florida bankruptcy. You've been doing this for a while, you know.
Yeah.
What is it that made you start doing bankruptcy law? Why are you here?
I have no idea.
I love your honesty.
When I got out of law school, I partnered with somebody, and I said, I didn't like litigation. I liked helping people, but I didn't want to be in the court, fighting battles constantly. And I like numbers, and I knew family members that had struggled, and I knew that the fresh start meant the world to them. And it just one thing led to another, and one of the earliest cases that I took on back when we used to do petitions with carbon paper. I don't know if anyone remembers
my gracious.
Carbon paper.
I remember carbon paper from college.
So carbon paper on a typewriter, and it was not the easiest, but I remember doing it, and the rest is history. And I've had people who said, "Why do you still do it?" I said, "I don't know, but it's my calling."
It's a calling.
It's absolutely a calling.
Why do you think it's a calling?
Because it's sort of, I think of it like an oncologist, for example. You go to work, you're solving real problems, and no one says, "I can't wait to meet another person who's struggling."
Right.
Okay? So it's got to be something more. It has to. It's got to be a calling.
I totally understand that, and I think a lot of my followers know that this is a calling for me, and it is something that we are kind of compelled to do because we are helpers, because we care.
Yep.
If we were just interested in the money, we would be over at the other conference.
Exactly.
For the lenders, the lawyers who represent the credit card companies. That's not who we are.
No. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. But first, I like to tell people I like to do financial planning for the rest of us.
Right.
Okay. My wife, who I love more than anything, she is on the dark side. She owns a national law firm in 8 states, and she represents the banks and foreclosures and collections. And I love her, but I could never work with her for 2 reasons. One, it's really not a good idea to always work with your spouse.
That's fair.
And then the other one is my heart's not in that.
Right.
I couldn't do that.
I love the yin and the yang in your family. You guys are interesting, but I can totally see why you say that.
Yeah, and I attend all of her conferences, and it's a whole different feel.
Right.
It's the funniest thing. When she comes here, she sees, bankruptcy attorneys wearing flip-flops and Hawaiian shirts sometimes, and we go there, and a lot of them.
And we're on TikTok.
And we're on TikTok, and a lot of them there look like they are Mr. Smith from The Matrix.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Wearing black, and you go to the. I'm not going to say which conferences, but you get the point.
Yeah, I get the point. I think the heroes are here today in Boston. That's what I'm going to stick with. That's what I'm going here. And
We're good with that.
Jeffrey's here today, and that means that we are doing the good work right now. So
No question.
Thank you very much for stopping
Very
by
nice,
and saying
very nice.
hi.
Thank you.
It's great to see you. Welcome to NACBA, and I hope to see you again around here soon.
A lot of fun. Thank you.
Jeffrey in Southern Florida.